Hello, my name is Glow and welcome to my channel, Wild Moon by Glow. Now today we're going to go ahead and dive into a pick a card reading about how do they feel or how do they truly feel about you, okay? So this pick a card tarot reading, I'll be pulling tarot cards and oracle cards for each pile to give you some guidance and clarity. Now to choose your pile, you can go off of your intuition, you can go off of the imagery on the cards, you can go off by the numbers. But the most important thing I would say is go with what you're feeling pulled to, right? Now, again, there is no, or I don't know if I said this, there is no wrong way to do this. Just go with your intuition, go with what feels right, all right? So yeah, and sorry, I almost forgot. You can be pulled to more than one pile. Okay, so sometimes we do need more of a message or two different messages, all right? Now, you can find the timestamps below to jump straight to the pile you've selected. And if you enjoy this pick a card reading, please don't forget to subscribe for more. And if you'd like a personal reading, all the information is in the description below. All right, so to go over the piles that or the imagery for each pile, we're going to start with pile number 1. The number on this card is number 28, and the text on the book says she dug caverns in her heart until she found the light. All right, so that is the glowing text here that says that. Then you have dark night of the soul, transformation, awakening, and tower. Okay, so that is for pile number 1. And for pile number 2, you have number 52, keeping still, mountain. You have stillness, mantis, and it says selflessness, tranquility, and restraint. All right, so that's for pile number 2. For pile number 3, we have protection, guardian, drop your shields, and an imagery of an angel. Really vivid, beautiful colors. All right, so those are your piles 1, 2, and 3. I will see you at the pile you choose. Hello and welcome, pile number 1. Just to go back over, you chose the Dark Night of the Soul card, which is a very beautiful card. I'm going to go ahead and set this off to the side. I'm going to set the tarot cards off to the side as well, and I'm going to pull first from these 2 oracle decks to figure out or kind of like see what's going on, all right? Now, if this isn't your jam right here, I do have a timestamp below to jump straight to the message, okay? So if you don't want to watch this part, no worries. You can just jump to the message. All right, pile number 1, let's go ahead and dive into the cards that you received. First, I'm going to go over the energy that I picked up from the other person. All right, then we're going to dive into the tarot and then the oracle cards. All right, so what I'm picking up from these cards is that this person may be saying all the right things. They may have told you, they're ready, they're committed, or, even emotionally open, but energetically, something is feeling off. Okay, so starting off with this card here, there's something behind your eyes. What are you hiding? This makes me feel like they aren't being fully transparent, but listen, here's the key. I'm not feeling third party energy. Okay. So this doesn't feel like just about another person. It feels like more internal. Okay. So just keep that in mind. With the ambivalent card here, it is clear they're unsure. They may, want love, but they're not fully in, okay? Possibly because, they're confused or emotionally unavailable at this time. And then now looking at the 2 cards here, boundaries and staying stuck, I'm picking up that they may have never learned to set or respect healthy boundaries, either in this connection or in past relationships. They could be, a people pleaser, trying to keep, the peace, but feeling lost in like that process. Okay. Now, there's a sense of that they want to like move forward. There is potential here, but they genuinely literally don't know how. Okay. They may feel stuck in emotional patterns or like fear of repeating the past. So they need, or I'd suggest they would need healing, clarity, and like self-awareness before they can truly offer something stable. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the tarot here and see the true feeling, thinking, and like what their intentions may be. Okay, sorry if it looks slightly different. I pushed my camera stand a little bit more back because I felt like I kept hitting it with the table and shaking everything. So if it was shaking a bit, I do apologize with that. But talking about shaking things up, the first card here for a tarot card is the Tower. Now, which this tells me something in this connection or within them has shaken their foundation. All right. So this could be an emotional awakening, a realization, or even a past relationship like breakdown that's, left them feeling unsteady. Okay. So their current emotional state feels chaotic or even defensive, like they're guarding their heart after something unexpected. So if there's been a recent argument or like a shift between you two, this card confirms it rocked them more than they're like leading on and more than like they're showing, right? So this card also reflects the internal Tower moment that ties into like the oracle cards here that we'll go more over, obviously. And they're confirming patterns, fears, and emotional habits that no longer essentially serve them. Now, with the Queen of Swords, I'm seeing someone who is emotionally intelligent, but also emotionally guarded. So they've learned from past pain and may, intellectualize their feelings rather than express them vulnerably. This person could be watching you carefully, respecting your strength, maybe, even a little intimidated by your clarity or standards, but they do admire how you hold boundaries. But at the same time, they don't quite know how to meet you at your level emotionally. So this, reinforces that ambivalence card right here that I was talking about earlier. Their heart wants connection, but their mind is still processing or protecting. Then we have the 10 of Pentacles. And here's the surprise. There's a surprise. Now, deep down, they do see potential with you, okay? So the 10 of Pentacles shows that they've imagined what a long-term, stable life with you could look like. This isn't just like attraction. They see legacy, home, and like commitment, but this dream feels like it's far away for them or, hard to reach right now, given, everything they're struggling with internally. Okay. So it's like they've idolized this future, but haven't figured out how to align their actions with that vision. And then finally, we have the King of Cups, which this confirms they do have deep feelings for you, but they keep it under control. Okay. So this is someone who doesn't easily show vulnerability. They may come across as emotionally mature, emotionally mature, or even like aloof. But underneath it all, okay, they care deeply. However, emotional depth doesn't always equal emotional availability, unfortunately. So they could be navigating emotional waves like privately, trying to stay steady while feeling deeply conflicted. All right, so now let's return to the first oracle card you were drawn to, the Dark Night of the Soul. Now, this card carries deep like Tower energy. So we have Tower two times now. So this just confirms that either you or your person or both are going through a massive internal shift. This isn't, surface level change. It's pretty like significant, like soul deep type of change. Okay. Now, again, with the words here, she dug caverns in her heart until she found the light. This is a time of facing those inner demons, letting go of ego, past trauma, or identity, and rebuilding from the inside out. So your connection feels confusing, possibly distant, or even like painful right now, because this person is likely confronting their own darkness, their fears, emotional blocks, and conditioning. Okay, so they're essentially learning how to rise from the ashes, and they're not ready yet, but they are transforming. Okay, now again, you both could be going through this. So if you're also going through this, Spirit is reminding you that you are the phoenix as well. You're just not meant to survive this chapter. You're meant to rise, reborn, and be empowered. So just remember that, okay? So if things look a little crazy, and shaky, like these two cards next to each other, that is a good indicator of that. Now, the second oracle card, the Spy Master, knowledge and distrust. The Spy Master brings, in a message about emotional walls and perception. Okay, so this person may be watching from like a distance, overthinking, second guessing, or even trying to figure you out instead of, showing up vulnerably. There's a fear of trusting, not because of you, but because they've been burned before. All right, so they're caught in this loop of like over analyzing instead of feeling. So the card's message here is clear. In the pursuit of knowledge or control, they've been emotionally guarded, okay, even lonely. So they see potential in this connection, but they're afraid to like let go and believe in it. Okay, so Spirit is essentially urging both of you, don't focus on the flaws, don't assume the worst. Instead, choose compassion, understanding, and trust like the growth is, happening, even if it's invisible right now. Okay. All right, pile number one. So final thoughts here. This person does have real feelings for you. So you do have the King of Cups that confirms that. But they're in, in the middle of a transformational storm, possibly, even triggered by the connection with you. So you're basically mirroring their deeper self here. They're not fully available yet, but this journey could be like the catalyst for something powerful, not just in your relationship, but in their own soul evolution. Okay, so the advice for you is to focus on your light, let them go through their process, without taking their silence or confusion personally. This may not be over, but the most important love story right now is the one you're writing with yourself. Okay, so just remember that. But okay, pile number one, that concludes your reading. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope this reading brought you clarity, comfort, and even confirmation you were looking for. So if this resonated, please give the video a like, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to join the Wild Moon family. And if you're ready for something more personal, like a deep intuitive reading just for your unique type of situation, you can you can book a private reading with me using the link in the description below. I would love to connect with your energy like one-on-one, okay? So now, just remember, this is a collective message, so take what resonates and release what does not. Your intuition is always going to be your best guide, okay? So until next time, take care and bye. Welcome, pile number two. So you chose the Stillness Mantis card here, which I'm going to keep right there. Now I'm going to pull the cards for your reading, but if you want to go ahead and skip ahead, you can do so with the description timestamp below, okay? I just like to showcase the cards that fall out for you. But all right. All right, pile number two. If you skipped ahead from the card pulling, welcome here. All right, so the first part here is like the energy I pulled from the person you're talking about or thinking about. We have the tarot and then two oracle cards here. So this person seems to be wrestling with expectations of like love, of life and how things should be. With this first card, this tells me they may have approached relationships in a very structured or idealistic way, but their connection with you has challenged that worldview. As you can see the imagery on the card here, you have this beautiful scene, but then you have the colors running through here. It's almost like this individual, it doesn't want to color outside the lines per se, or everything has to be like, no, the sun needs to go here and it can't be on this side, or it can't be an off color of yellow. And that's the energy that I'm picking up from this. And it doesn't, obviously they don't have to be artistic, but I'm just saying that's the energy I'm feeling. Now, with I try to fall for someone else, but no one compares, I feel this person has genuinely tried to like move on, possibly to test their own feelings, or because they, believe they should. Okay, so there's the words again, should. But no matter what they do or who they meet, you're still in their heart. You're the comparison they keep making, and nothing quite measures up. Now, the incomplete card here, you want someone who completes you, but you need to be whole on your own, highlights a key emotional truth. This person may have looked to others to complete them, or even expected you to do that, but they're really realizing now that no one else can feel the emptiness here they are feeling inside. That the journey to wholeness is something they need to take on their own. And finally, the fear of loss. You are afraid of losing someone or of being abandoned. Take a chance. Now, the fear of loss here is pretty strong, okay? So there's emotional vulnerability, maybe even abandonment wounds surfacing. They fear losing you, but they also fear opening themselves up enough to truly like love again. So it's like they're stuck between wanting to love and being terrified of it, which obviously is not fun. Now, so what I'm feeling is this person is like deeply conflicted. They've, tried to move on, tried to distract themselves, but your energy still holds them, okay? Now, at their core, they feel incomplete without you, but that may be because they haven't found wholeness within themselves yet. So there's this longing, there's resistance, and there's, fear, but there's also a spark of realization you are different. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into the tarot and let's see, how they're thinking, feeling, and what actions, if any, they might, may take next. So right away, the Five of Cups shows me that this person is carrying a heavy emotional weight. Actually, I wanted to point out, you have a lot of cups here. So there's a lot of emotions going on in this reading with at least the tarot down here. Now, there's regret, there's sadness, maybe even guilt around something that happens between you. They're, focused on what's been lost or what could have been rather than what still remains. So this is someone, who feels disconnected but not detached. They've, let go, but they may be stuck in the past, still overthinking, mourning, or essentially unable to forgive themselves. So this could also be holding back from reaching out because they think too much damage has already been done, or they're afraid that you've moved on. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The Three of Cups brings in a totally different energy. You have the, no, I already said you had the Three of Cups. Sorry about that. You have joy, friendship, reunion, and emotional closeness with the Three of Cups. Now, this tells me two things, okay? You may have started as friends or still have soul level emotional bonds, even if you're not communicating right now. Or two, they miss the lightness you brought to their life, your laughter, your support, your shared moments. They may be longing for like a reunion, even if it's just to reconnect emotionally. So in some cases, this card can also indicate like a third part influence, but with the oracle cards, I'm not feeling infidelity, okay? It's more about emotional confusion or external distractions that haven't filled that void. Then you have the Queen of Cups, if I could pick up the card. This shows how they truly see you, and they see you as someone emotionally intuitive, compassionate, and powerful in your softness. So you touch them in a way that, few others ever have. You felt them without having to speak. You saw beyond, the surface, their surface. But this also intimidates them, okay? They love all that, but it also intimidates them, okay? So your emotional depth reflects everything they wish they could embody, but maybe don't know how. They may have put you on like this pedestal or even felt undeserving of your love at that time. So this card tells me they still love you, whether they say it or not, and they likely carry your energy with them every day. Okay. And then we have the Page of Swords. Now, this is your confirmation that they're watching you, okay? Maybe not physically, but energetically or online. So they're curious, right? They want to know what you're up to, how you're feeling, if you've moved on. So this card also shows like mental energy picking up. They're analyzing things, replaying conversations, maybe even thinking about reaching out, but they're not emotionally mature enough yet to come forward with clarity. So the page is still learning, still like holding back, but there's interest and there's movement behind the scenes, okay? How do they truly feel? Well, they're grieving what was and missing what you had and carrying like a deep emotional imprint of this connection. They've, essentially tried to forget, but they can't. They want to reach out, but they're scared. They feel they they feel your emotional depth and wonder if they're even capable of meeting it, okay? And there is love here. There is this like soul bond, but there's also fear, there's also fear and emotional immaturity and a lot of like inner work to still be done, all right? Now, we're going to go ahead and move into your final two oracle cards and close out the message and, see where the guidance is with this connection. Now, starting off with the card that you chose here for your pile, you have stillness, praying mantis, keeping still, tranquility, resistance, and selflessness. Now, this card represents is represented by the praying mantis, and this couldn't be more, fitting after the waves of like, waves of emotions we have explored here with this is my wave, okay? The cups, all right? So the mantis teaches us the power of patience and silent observation. So this creature is still but never like passive. It moves with like purpose, with grace, and with intention. So this person may be pulling back like emotionally, but it's not because like they don't care. It's because they're processing deeply and trying to like find their balance, okay? So the mantis also symbolizes spiritual awareness, precision, and timing. So this isn't a time of impulsive action. It's a time of like reflection, of healing, and becoming still enough to hear what the heart truly wants. So the energy here is calming, quiet, but still powerful, right? So like your person is, essentially learning to sit with their own discomfort rather than reacting to it. So they're growing even in that silence, all right? Sorry if that looks a little funky. I had to redo this because my camera like went crazy. So I do apologize about that. So your second card, you have the botanist, parenthood, legacy, nurturing something long term. Now, the second oracle card here talks about intentional creation and legacy. Your person may be thinking more long term than you realize. They may not have, the words yet, but there's, a seed of thought in building something meaningful, not just momentary. This card also speaks to parental energy or being influenced by how they were raised. They may be healing from, from or reflecting on their own family dynamics, trying to, figure out what kind of parent or partner they want to be. So the message is clear here. They just don't want connection. They want to grow something real, something, that lasts. And listen, this isn't only for them, this is also for you. You've been nurtured by others, and now you're being called to plant new seeds in your love life, your self-worth, and your legacy. So you're not just part of someone else's story, you're the one writing your own, okay? All right, pile number 2. So this person loves you in a quiet way, all right? A way that may not show up through action yet, but lives in memory, in reflection, and in longing. So they're watching, they're healing, they're learning to, sit still of, rushing into distractions. And something in their soul knows no one else compares, okay? So, but the work they must do now isn't about finding somebody new. It's about becoming like whole, okay? And that's a journey only they can take. Now, in the meantime, you want to keep nurturing your own legacy, okay? Because when you're rooted in your own truth, the right love will always know where to find you, okay? Pile number 2. Now, that does conclude your reading. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope this reading brought you clarity, comfort, or even like the confirmation you were looking for. Now, if this resonated, please give the video a like, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to, our Wild Moon family here. And if you're ready for something more personal, a deep intuitive reading just for your unique situation, you can book a private reading with me using the link in the description below. I'd love to connect with your energy one-on-one. Now, please remember this is a collective message, so take what resonates and release what does not. Your intuition is always going to be your best guide. Now, until next time, take care and bye. Welcome, pile number 3. You chose the Protection Guardian. Drop your shields. Now, in this timestamp, I am going to be pulling all the cards for your reading. Now, if you'd like to just skip ahead, you can go to the next timestamp as well, okay? I like to showcase the cards being pulled out for individuals who like to see that. All right, so if not, I will see you at the message. Hello, pile number 3. So if you went ahead and skipped ahead and went straight for the message here, welcome, welcome. Now, I have a bird outside that is making so much noise. I already had and closed all my windows and stuff like that. So if you hear it in the background, I do apologize. Hopefully it's like in the distance. I do have my microphone, but sometimes it picks it up. So I do apologize that in advance. All right. Now, let's get into your reading. So the first card we have here, oh wait, I forgot to tell you, sorry. So the first 4 here are going to be the energy. Also, if you did watch me pull cards, I did pull one out because it just wasn't, I second guessed it while pulling it out. So it's not there. If you didn't notice, don't worry. Don't think about it. All right, so the first here 4 cards are the energy of this person, okay? And then we go into guidance with the tarot and then finish it out with the oracle cards. Now, the first card that you got, no one else compares to you. So right away, this person is deeply drawn to your energy. There's admiration here, maybe even obsession, okay? So you live rent-free in their head and no one else has come close. But then we have the energy, but then the energy like shifts, okay? We have hiding feelings, showing that they're not being honest and about what they truly feel, whether it's pride, fear, or a need to control, they're holding everything in, and that's blocking real emotional connection. Then we see demanding, okay? And this card tells me that they may hold unrealistic expectations, possibly wanting you to show up in ways that aren't authentic to who you are. There's, a feeling of them trying to shape and mold this relationship rather than allowing it to unfold naturally. And finally, settling, okay? So this card doesn't feel like it's about you, okay? It's about them. They may feel, they may stay in emotional, they may, they may stay in emotionally safe or convenient situations, all while thinking you should be someone different, okay? So someone more perfect, more available, more abundant to their ideal, just more, okay? But that's not love, that's control. So overall, this person is, captivated by you, but instead of approaching it with vulnerability and respect, they're hiding their feelings, holding expectations, and projecting fantasies. All right. There's, this emotional intensity. Yes, but also an imbalancement that needs healing before true intimacy can happen. Okay. So let's go ahead and go deeper with the tarot and see what else Spirit wants to essentially reveal about how they truly feel. Now, starting off with the Ace of Swords. Now, this comes through as a moment of clarity. This person knows the truth, okay? They may be hiding their feelings outwardly, but internally there is no confusion, okay? So they're very aware of what they feel for you. Now, this card also suggests a desire to speak their truth, but they haven't yet. It's like the words are on the tip of their tongue, but their pride or fear is stopping them. So they may feel like telling you how they really feel would give you too much power, which ties back into those controlling vibes I'm picking up, or I picked up here in the Oracle cards, all right? Then you have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this person is slow moving, not because they don't care, but because they're cautious and calculating. All right. So they want things to unfold on their terms and their timeline. They may even be waiting for some kind of poof or proof. Sorry, from you. I was like, that didn't sound right. I was like, poof. They don't poof. So they maybe waiting for some kind of proof from you before they move forward. But listen, this isn't a lack of interest, it's a lack of emotional flexibility. They prefer control and certainty over spontaneity and vulnerability. So the knight is, also someone who builds over time, but paired with the rest of this spread, it feels like their pace could be holding the connection back rather than, building it up. Then you have the Five of Swords, and this is where tension shows up, okay? The Five of Swords is a card of ego battles, miscommunication, and power struggles. So it's the energy of needing to win, even at the cost of connection, okay? So this person might have pushed you away, said things they didn't mean, or created distance because they didn't want to lose control. It's almost like they'd rather sabotage the connection than risk being seen as weak or vulnerable. All right. So, there's mental conflict here, possibly regret, but also resistance. They want you, but they want to win. Okay. And you can't have both, right? Now, moving on into the Judgment card here. Now, the Judgment card, closes this spread with, a loud message. This connection is karmic. All right. It is karmic. So it's triggering deep, on a soul level of lessons for the both of you. Okay. So this person is being called to evolve, to wake up, to stop hiding behind, the pride or fear, and face the truth, about their feelings, their behaviors, and the way they've been, the way they have handled this relationship. So judgment is rebirth, but it only comes after honesty and reflection. So this person may be going through a spiritual reckoning, and you may be that catalyst of their awakening, even if they don't want to admit it, okay? So as far as the tarot card goes and everything like we've gotten so far, they feel obsessed, conflicted, and cautious and called, okay? They know no one compares to you, but instead of like embracing that truth, they've tried to manage it to control how this plays out, how you show up, and how much of themselves they like reveal, okay? They want to come forward with clarity. That's the Ace of Swords here, but their ego and wounds, the Five of Swords, are in the way. Now the Judgment card tells me Spirit won't let them run from this forever. All right, there's a chance for transformation here, but it honestly depends on whether they choose love over control. All right. Sorry, I feel like I'm yelling at you or talking really loudly. I just feel this energy. I'm like, no. There's so much control here. But yes. So yeah, hopefully I'm not being too loud. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. All right, so moving on. Sorry. Now to the card that you chose, the Expect Protection Guardian and Drop Your Shields. Now this card speaks volumes after everything we've seen, okay? Your person has been living with walls up, operating from fear of loss, fear of, vulnerability, fear of being hurt again. So the Protection Guardian comes through to tell both of you it's time to let down the armor. There's a softness and strength and authenticity. This connection has triggered them to realize that control doesn't equal safety, and that, real intimacy requires trust. So Spirit is reminding them, and maybe even you, that it's okay to be open, to shine, and to stop hiding behind emotional defenses. There's divine protection here, okay? So your angels and your ancestors are like surrounding the situation, helping both of you, release fear and come into alignment with love and not like power struggles. So if this person has seemed cold or guarded, know that underneath they are terrified to be vulnerable, but that fear is slowly like melting. So Spirit is nudging them toward authenticity, and you're the catalyst of their awakening. Now you have the guide here, and the guide inheritance and correction. I want to make sure that I'm reading that as well off for you. So the guide comes from it comes forward as a symbol of karmic correction and soul growth. So this relationship may not have been easy, but it's been divinely orchestrated to teach the both of you important lessons about self-worth, honesty, and emotional freedom. So this person is being guided to make things right, not necessarily in a fairy tale type of way, but in a spiritual sense. They're being asked to acknowledge their patterns, their own actions, and start walking the path of accountability. So the guide reminds us that we can change the past, but we can't change the past, but we can choose how we move forward. Okay, now for you, this may mean accepting that this connection has fulfilled its soul contract, or that it will be renewed only after both parties have learned what they needed to. Okay, so either way, you're stepping into a higher vibration of love, one that's aligned with mutual respect and truth. All right. Now, sorry, I had to like take a breath there. This connection feels literally intense, karmic, and like transformative, okay? There's passion, there's obsession, there's control, but underneath it all, there's also deep spiritual mirror, a deep spiritual mirror. You and this person reflect back to each other your greatest fears and your greatest potential for growth, all right? They are learning to drop their shield. You're learning to keep your boundaries, but stay open to love. And both of you are being guided toward healing, not through control, but through like courage and truth and, surrender. Okay. So Spirit is saying you are protected, you are loved, and you are ready to rise. So let go of the fear, release what isn't aligned, and, essentially trust, that what's meant for you will never pass you by. Okay. Pile number 3. Whew, that one was very energetic, very, yeah, absolutely very energetic. All right. Now, thank you so much for spending time with me today. I really hope this reading brought you clarity, comfort, and confirmation you possibly were looking for. Now, if this resonates, please give the video a like, leave me a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to join our Wild Moon family, okay? And if you're ready for something more personal and deep intuitive reading just for you, you can, book a private reading with me using the link in the description below. I'd love to connect with your energy one-on-one. Now, please remember, this is a collective message, so take what resonates and release what does not, okay? Your intuition is always going to be your best guide. Alrighty? Now, till next time, take care and bye!